This is the drive home with TT for the Millwall drive home, driving home from the Den for the second time this season, where it finished. Millwall 1. How many goals did Sheffield Wednesday score, boys?
0.
Sheffield Wednesday 0. 1-0 to the Lions, and we held on like lions, to be fair, because something we didn't really do at any stage last year. We didn't, I know it's going to sound silly, but we didn't really look like conceding. They had so much pressure, so many chances, but I never felt like one was going to go in, and that never happens. That didn't happen last year, and it's not happened for a few years at the Den, because last year, if the same thing would have happened, I would have felt it was like only inevitable that they were going to score, and I didn't feel like that today, which I don't know whether it was the atmosphere, which was absolutely rocking. You know, the atmosphere today inside the ground was electric, and it helps the players. So often, when our crowd is tense, when our crowd are worried, that transmits to our players, and then they're the ones that have the pressure on them. Well, today, with the atmosphere the way it was, the pressure went on Sheffield Wednesday, and in all fairness, they struggled to deal with that. You know, they made a lot of misplaced passes. Obviously, they had so much possession in that second half that the pressure was on them. You know, our fans lumped it on them, and that, I think, helped us over the line. We started with Bartosz Białkowski in goal, and to be fair, he was absolutely superb again. But Bartman, I feel so much safer, so much more secure when he's in goal, and he's pulled off a couple of really good saves. He was calm and assured, claiming the ball. He gives confidence to me in the stands, and he must give an immense amount of confidence to that back four in front of him, because they didn't seem worried. And we've not had, like I said, we've not had it. I'm going to say it time and time again, but we've not had that calm and considered attitude towards seeing a game out, and we've done that really well today. So Bartman, he gets a 9 for me. Back four of Marlon Romeo at right back, Murray Wallace left back, and then Pearce and Cooper as the centre back pairing. It's difficult to find any fault with anything any of them done, because they were just absolutely rock solid the entire game. Even when in the first half, you know, the first half was us on top, then it was them on top and us on top. When they were on top, and we sat a bit too deep for my liking at home. I can understand it in the second half, but first half we sat deep, but they looked so solid. You know, Sheffield Wednesday didn't really get in behind them. Marlon Romeo and Murray Wallace, as the two, you know, they were under a lot of pressure. Again, they are under a lot of pressure when we play 4-4-2 and the wing backs the wingers are not getting back. It's up to them to kind of have a man one-on-one, and they've done that so many times. You know, Marlon Romeo today he was going to be tested in that second half, and he came through it with absolutely flying colours. I can't give, you know, all of them are going to get a 9. Again, I can't fault any one of them, because they were absolutely superb today. We had a midfield 4. We started with a midfield 4. It went down to a midfield 3, but we had a midfield 4 of Conor Mahoney started left midfield, although again he swapped wings with Jed Wallace. Jed Wallace started at right midfield, and then we had Sean Williams and Ben Thompson as our centre midfield pairing. Conor Mahoney today, again, you know, it's one of those things where our wingers done a lot more work defensively. Even after or before the sending off, they had to do a lot of work defensively, and they seem to like doing that. They seem to welcome. I don't know what Harris has done to them or what to change this year, but all of those players are buying into the work ethic and what you need to do to win games in the Championship with a squad that we've got. And Connor's more. It would be remiss of me to do anything other than say, what an absolutely cracking ball. Again, his set-piece delivery is just is second to none. I've not seen better delivery from anybody at the Den for 20, 25 years. I can't remember someone to put that consistent level of, you know, he can put it near post, he can swing it with both feet. The ball to Smith for the goal, the only goal of the game, was a chip ball to the back post, and Smith comes in and heads it into the top right-hand corner. And all right, Smith's going to get quite rightly the credit for doing that, but the delivery is absolutely superb, and it was enough. Again, another set piece goal for the Lions, and another set piece that's dangerous. Teams are not liking to. They're struggling to deal with it. We've got so many weapons in that box that what if the delivery is good, which it is. We put them under so much pressure. So Conor Mahoney, I think I'll give him an 8. Jed Wallace. Now, I'll mix this with ref watch, and it was Gavin Ward, the ref. Although the ref didn't give the sending off, he brandished the card, but it was all from the linesman, who was an absolute disgrace. There's no other way of putting it. Not just the red card, which I felt was, and I've seen it a few times back. I want to know what he sent off for, because he was late. The only thing that I've seen, he was late. He hasn't gone in with his studs. He's not gone in 2-footed. He's not left the floor. And I think if you tick any one of those boxes, then probably you could say it's a red card. But none of them, when I first saw it, and the crowd's reaction, I think didn't help. He's not really been touched, a player that's gone down. He knows it. He stayed down a little bit longer than he needed to. And you can understand that from their point of view, it's a professional play. But he didn't. It was harsh for him to get sent off. But it just shows you the pressure on Jed at the moment, because obviously Yuri Skalak has been pushing him. He's been pushing him in pre-season, pushing him in training. So it's going to be interesting to see now with Yuri getting his chance, whether Jed gets back into the team. Because if Yuri really can take this chance, Jed might struggle. And before that, offensively, he whipped an absolutely beautiful ball in from the right. He done bits right again, Jed, but he didn't really bring it all together. So I would have given him probably a 6 before the sending off. And the problem with the sending off is, I don't think it was a sending off, but you're giving the referee a decision to make, and that's never a good idea as a Millwall player, because you're always giving the referee the chance to do something that they do down a den. So the centre midfield pairing, again, the difference between Williams and Thompson, when he has the ball, is just he lights the place up. I don't know where it's the confidence in him to drop a shoulder. This is going to sound thingy, but we've not really had a central midfield player that wants to run on the ball, and he's got skill. He battles for every ball in the air. His range of passing's excellent, and just I can't say any more good words about Ben Thompson. It was let's just call it again. I'm going to say it. It was a Ben Thompson type performance, having to work so hard in the centre of the park. Creating that second man to try and get forwards after we go down to 10 men, and we've done an absolutely superb job. So Ben Thompson gets an 8. Sean Williams was a little bit different in the centre of midfield. He gave the ball away a couple of times again, but his work rate today was absolutely superb. And to hold on to a win into the Championship, once you take the lead, that's what you need. So Sean Williams, I'll also give a 7. And then we move up front to Matt Smith and Aidan O'Brien. I'll start with Aidan O'Brien, because he's got into the team as a striker, and he's had to play left midfield, which obviously he doesn't particularly like playing, but he made a couple of tackles today. He got himself involved. He really put himself about and worked tirelessly. Lee Gregory's to get all the plaudits in the world for chasing the ball down, and Aidan done that today. So you can absolutely ask no more of it's kind of a sacrificial kind of player playing up front. He did link up well with Smith a couple of times, and I do really want to see Bradshaw and Smith to see what he can do. But Aidan today had a cracking volley as well. There was a ball played over from the right. I think it was Mahoney again, and Aidan's collected probably too sweetly, and he's absolutely smashed the granny out of it. And the keeper's made a good save, and that probably, if we'd have gone 2-0 up, we'd probably been a little bit more nervous. It's Millwall, but it was it just showed you his all-round game today was excellent, Aidan. So I'll give Aidan a 7. And then we got Matt Smith up front, who was unbelievable again. Championship strikers that, you look back at big players that can make a difference. And if you compare him and Fletcher today, Matt Smith won nearly everything he went up for. He battled. His touch was good. He's such a good addition. He's kind of, he just reminds me of Steve Morrison a couple of years ago, and you can't underestimate what that type of player does when the way we play football. And I thought he was really, really excellent at that today. So I could ask no more from Matt Smith. And You know, Harris made the right subs at the right time today. You know, I'll give Matt Smith an 8, but he brought Bradshaw on because we couldn't just keep putting it up front with Matt up there on his own. So he brought Bradshaw on to work hard, and you know, Bradshaw done about 2 halves worth of running in that second half. He was tireless. He then dropped into midfield, so he had no one up front at times, and a lot of the time you think that's a bad thing to do, but we were putting pressure on them at the right time. The blocks, the amount of individual blocks by players today was they were putting their bodies on the line, and you can ask no more from a Millwall team than, you know, they'll be aching tomorrow, they'll be absolutely off their feet, but they know to get that crowd involved at the Den, it was really, really superb. Leonard came on, he shored it up as well, and then Ferguson came on for Aidan late. All of the substitutions give us more running, give us more legs, because we had to work so hard. You know, we rode our luck. Let's make no bones about that. We rode our luck. You know, Sheffield Wednesday, if they showed a bit more composure in front of goal, they should have scored 2 or 3 goals. There's no doubt about it. And you can look at the negatives and think you're down to 10 men, you didn't play. You know, I'm sure they'll be thinking, oh, they didn't play pretty football. We had 75% possession and 9 shots and we should have scored. Yeah, you should have scored. You know, there's no doubt about it. Sheffield Wednesday should have put the ball in the back of the net, but they didn't. And that's no small part to every single one of those Millwall players on the pitch that absolutely worked their nuts off. You probably can't even see him. Zach, who's your man of the match today?
It was very hard, but I think Matt Smith, because he's a beast.
Yeah.
He is amazing at touching the ball, and because of his goal too, he's just a mastermind for our team.
Okay, Alfie, who's your man of the match?
Bartosz Białkowski.
Okay, and you can't argue with either one of those. You know, one picked the striker, one's picked the goalie. So that just shows all round the pitch we were working hard. We've got a big, you know, this is the last game that I'm going to get to go to. You know, my mother-in-law's having heart surgery in Turkey, and I'm going over there with the family, you know, part of holiday and part to make sure that we're there to support her. So I'm going to miss a couple of games, which is a bit gutting considering the run that we're on, and I'm missing Fulham away, which I obviously wouldn't have liked to have missed if I had a chance. But, you know, I saw what we do, you know, what this club does. There was a young lad from Barcelona, an Espanyol fan, which is not his fault really, but Pablo from Barcelona, you know, he identifies as a Millwall fan. You know, he's come over, he's studying in Bath, he wanted to meet me, I had a photo with him, and his passion for Millwall is just second to none, and that's what this club does to you. You know, it doesn't matter where you're from, whether you're from New Cross like I am, or whether you're from Bermondsey, or whether you're from Barcelona. You know, this club means something to people, and when Harris says it, the players say it, when you're in an atmosphere like you were today at the Den, you can absolutely ask for no more. The teams we've played, Sheffield Wednesday are a decent side with decent players. Preston have like peed all over other teams since they've played them, and West Brom, favourites, one of the favourites for promotion. And we've been solid, we've battled, and we've come away with 7 points. I'm driving home in the Rotherhithe Tunnel. It took me 2 hours to get to the Den earlier today because of traffic. Both the boys are in the new Millwall kit. The away kit's obviously out of stock, so we're going to have to wait for that. But I'm absolutely buzzing. Please put your comments in. You know, I'll read them all the time. I try and respond to them. If you can like the channel, we're up to 1,300 subscribers. Like, who thought that could have happened? We've got to get it up to 2,000. That's my target for the end of the season. I am so happy. Thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you don't mind. Come on, you Lions.